Okay, so now we're going to look at the contract side of the Herbst module. So what this is about is if a contract has been agreed with a farmer for him to supply a quantity of grain product like barley, wheat, oats, or whatever, and there could be various different prices on that contract. So let's say he's going to supply us with 300 tons of barley, but we don't care when it comes in. As long as it comes in, it could be agreed months in advance, weeks in advance, could be agreed as the harvest kicks off. It's there's no limits about when it can be created. So what can happen is that you can agree a price with the farmer for, say, 300 tons, and let's say the first 100 tons is at one price, the next 100 tons is at another price, and the last 100 tons is at another price. And what the system does is takes care of tickets that are coming in. They're not assigned to the contract as they come in. They're assigned to the contract at the end. Okay, so let's just have a look at a contract. Okay, so we can see here we've contracted with a farmer called Seamus Flaherty, and he has we have agreed with him to buy 100 tons of green barley at €180 per ton. Then another 100 tons of green barley at €160 per ton. And then another 100 tons of green barley at €165 per ton. So as the tickets are coming in, they're given the standard price for whatever the standard price is set to, whether it's on a special price for him, or which he has here, or it's the actual product price for this year. So I know that probably hasn't been agreed yet, but it will just use whatever price is on the product or on his special price. So we'll just have a look at his special price. Oh no, we won't. We'll just go on and do it. So you can see the 3 lines of the contract here. Okay, so let's go and just have a look at his tickets and his purchase invoices. So what's happened in the process so far is he's been drawing in the green barley, and it's been weighed in, it's been weighed out, it's been tested. The moisture, the screenings, the bushel have all been recorded on the ticket or the cost receipt docket or the purchase invoice. We don't know which. So these are his. So we've also converted all the cost receipt dockets to a purchase invoice, and it's when the purchase invoice exists that we apply the price in the contract. Okay, so what we do is we go to the procedures menu, go to harvest, and we apply contract pricing. Okay, so we look for the contract first. So depending on what date it was actually raised, we need to find it, and we pick our supplier, which was Seamus Flaherty, and I know the contract was drawn up in April, so the dates I've selected there should help me find it. And here's our contract. We can view it from here if we want to make sure we have the right one. We do, because there could be several in play from the same farmer for the same time for the same product. Okay, it's just different contracts, different documents. You just need to select the right one. So what we see here is that we have a total quantity of 300. Okay, it doesn't tell us the prices as of yet. Okay, so on the next screen it says you can please choose the purchase items you wish to add for this contract. Okay, so you can view or edit the document items before applying the contract pricing. To do it, quick view on the toolbar or the shortcut menu. If you do not want to apply pricing for any of the document items, select them and click remove. Contract items: 100 ton at 180, 100 ton at 160, and 100 ton at 165, and the rest goes back to whatever his standard price is, whether it's coming from his special price or the product price that's active on the day. Okay, if you want to, you could backdate the standard price for the rest of it, so go to the end of the fiscal year, and it will pick up the price that was active at the end of the last fiscal year. So I'm just going to leave it at working date. Okay, so what I do is I add in the items that I want to apply the contract price to. So here's a list of the purchase invoice items and the associated tickets that generated each line of the invoice. Okay, so I can just pick some of these. Now I'm just going to pick them. If I want to, I can sort it here by ticket number. So normally you'd have agreed with him that whatever order they came in, and that the contract would be applied in that order. You know, you'd start the first load in is first part of the contract. Okay, so you'd select a number of these. Let's just pick that many. Okay, so now this is telling us that, I'll just touch this down a bit so we can see them all. We have a contract for 300 tons of green barley. We have 365 selected and 65 over. So we've gone over the contract by 65 tons. So we can get rid of some of these lines. So if you look for the quantity, you would probably delete the ones from the bottom as they were the first ones in, or the last ones in. As you remove them, you'll see the figures changing. Okay, so we're 25 over. Now I don't want to delete that one because I want to show you what happens when the contract is split, when the end of the contract is reached and the price goes back to standard price. So I'm going to delete this one instead. Okay, so we've got contract for 305, or contract for 300, select 305, we're 5 over. Okay, and we want to apply the pricing to the tickets in this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 20, 21, 23. Okay, so just hit next. And it applies the price. And as you can see here, these first lines are applied to the first line of the contract. And you may notice that there's two numbered ticket 6s here. So what happened was that this ticket, which had a quantity of 10, was the limit of the first line of the contract. So 5 tons applies to the first line and 5 tons applies to the second line. So the first 5 get the price of 180 euros per ton, and the second 5 get the price of 160 euros per ton. So if we add up this quantity, we'll see that it's 100 tons. There we go. Then if we look at the second, anything with -2 at the end of it, and we total them, we'll see that that's also 100. Okay, and our third lot will be 105 because we're 5 over. Okay, so anything with a 1 is applied to the first line of the contract, that the price is taken from the first line of the contract. Anything with a 2 at the end of it, the price is taken from the second line of the contract. And anything with a 3 after it, the price is taken from the third line of the contract. And anything with a dash after it was part of the contract, was part of the consideration, but was not applied. So the price went back to the standard price, so which was 175. Now these purchase prices are adjusted for the price parameters. So that's why there's a difference between the purchase price and the standard price. And you save that. We can have a look at it, and you can see the purchase invoice that relates to that. Okay, so it's that's all that's involved in that.